I, 26 female, used to date Tom, 27 male, for 3 years. We broke up 2 years ago when Tom came out as gay. It was a tough time for me, but I eventually moved on, or so I thought. Fast forward to 6 months ago when my brother James, 29, announced his engagement to Tom. Apparently they started seeing each other shortly after Tom and I broke up. When I first heard it, I was in shock. I felt a mix of betrayal, hurt and confusion. James and Tom are now getting married and my family is fully supportive. They've always favoured James because he's the firstborn son and frankly the golden child. I've always felt like the second fiddle and this situation just seems to cement that feeling. I told my family I wouldn't be attending the wedding. I can't stand the thought of watching my brother marry my ex, someone I once loved deeply. My parents are furious with me, accusing me of being selfish and unsupportive. They say I should be happy for James and that I'm causing unnecessary drama. James confronted me, saying he loves Tom and hopes I can put our past aside for his sake. He claims it's unfair of me to punish him for something beyond his control, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. I think it's incredibly insensitive of both him and Tom to expect me to be okay with this. Now the entire family is at odds. My parents have threatened to cut me off financially if I don't attend, and some relatives are siding with them. I'm feeling isolated and unsure if I'm handling this correctly. Not the idiot. This is uncomfortable. They want you there so they can pretend all is well. But if you've dated for 3 years, it's normal that your feelings are complex. Stay away. Someone dating 2 siblings sequentially is always awkward. I'm sorry that this happened to you. That's not family. That's a crap show and it's best to step back to avoid getting stinky. And I get the feeling that there was a little wink-wink nudge-nudge going on whenever she brought Tom home. The fact that they hid the relationship until they got engaged is proof enough that they knew what they were doing too. I'd like to know if Tom told her he was bi, or was he using her as a beard, or to get close to bro. Punished for something beyond his control, James could easily have controlled himself and not dated Tom straight after you broke up. Tom is not the only fish in the sea, but out of the many gay men out there who have never broken his sister's heart, James just had to pick him. Nice. No, James, you knew damn well what you were doing. I find the situation gross. I would never ever date someone my sisters or brothers dated. Oh, if they fell in love. Blech. How did the brother fall in love with someone who broke his sister's heart? Why was he spending any time with him at all? Did your parents know that they were dating? To be honest, the whole deceit and then pressure would make me go scorched earth and cut your family off. They don't deserve you. Yep, and parade her around and say, see, he and our son were meant to be together and our daughter is ecstatic to have Tom as her new brother-in-law. There will be annual Christmas cards with everyone's picture on them, all smiley and happy. Yeah, I don't get these parents. The son is obviously their favourite. Go make your own family of people who care about you. If there are some family who support you, start there. Attending this wedding is not a reasonable expectation. I, female 25, am currently 28 weeks pregnant. My husband, 31, and I have been married for 2 years and this is our first child. Having just entered my 3rd trimester, I'm getting very nervous and excited, and a lot more symptoms of pregnancy are happening. The bump has also gotten huge. One of my biggest symptoms now is constant cravings for things I don't even normally eat. I'm not a vegetarian or vegan, but I normally don't eat red meat like steaks or burgers because I don't find it appealing. However, for the past week, all I could think of was a bacon cheeseburger. LOL. It's all I wanted. 2 days ago, I asked my husband to make them. He laughed and said he would, but then he didn't. He claimed to forget I wanted them. Then yesterday I was going to make them, but I was devastated to find out we didn't have bacon. I literally cried. My husband told me I was being a bit dramatic, and I'm sure I was, but the hormones hit and I just cried. So today I asked him if he could please pick me up from a local restaurant, and I would order us bacon cheeseburgers. He was very annoyed and told me, "Shouldn't you really be focused on your health right now?" I replied by saying, "I am, but the baby wants bacon cheeseburgers." He didn't think it was funny and lectured me on how he thinks it's unhealthy to include things in my diet that I didn't originally eat. He topped off the lecture by asking me how much weight I'd gained since becoming pregnant. I weighed 120 pounds before pregnancy. I weigh 149 now. My doctor says that's a healthy weight. I cried again, of course, and my husband begrudgingly got me the food I wanted, but not without some snappy replies. I told him later, after I collected myself, that it was incredibly rude to say that about my weight and also about my health. I'm fine and healthy according to my doctor. He snapped back and told me he was allowed to be concerned about my diet and my health when I was carrying his baby. Who's the idiot here? 1 cheeseburger in your 3rd trimester and you've only gained 20 pounds? 1 damn bacon cheeseburger causes him to throw a hissy fit about your weight. Wow, I'm sorry you married an idiot. Your husband isn't concerned about his child's health. He wants to make sure you don't get fat. He's the idiot. Yep, we have a friend whose husband pulled this BS. He didn't want to get too fat. My husband tried to explain that cravings were normal and that weight gain was important. He suggested what he did for me. I got hangry, so we had little stations with healthy but also craving-related snacks. People scoff at my husband when he describes making me little snack bags for my purse, but it was amazing. He did it while I was breastfeeding and pumping too. I was forgetful, but he never complained, just ensuring I had what I needed. Pregnancy is hard. Caring for newborns is hard, and husbands who carry their parent duties and make that extra effort are worth their weight in gold. Ha ha ha, amazing. My purse was full of lemon drops and cheese when I was pregnant. OP is not the idiot. The husband sounds like the type of guy who expects the woman to instantly bounce back to pre-pregnancy weight, cooking and cleaning, and bedroom duties. Yuck. Pregnancy cravings are real, acute indicators of nutrients you might need more of. Women report literally wanting to eat chalk, nails, lick the cement outside, drink that meat juice right from the packaging, usually because they lack iron and calcium. If it's a safe food and you're thinking about eating nothing else for days, you better go eat that and maybe get some blood work to test for iron deficiency. It's iron most often. 1 cheeseburger. Good grief. That man has lost the plot. My husband and I have been together for 8 years now. I have 2 sons from my previous marriage, a young teen and a tween, and I just gave birth to me and my husband's daughter a few months ago. Prior to me giving birth and even a few weeks following, our home life was great. We often had friends telling us they wish they could find someone that made them as happy as he and I made each other. There were hardly ever any disagreements. Our communication was solid. He was fantastic with my boys, attending every parent-teacher conference, doctor's appointment, school event, etc., and taking them out often to play baseball and basketball. This all changed after maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I gave birth. He turned angry, depressed, and impatient. The kids and I started having to walk on eggshells constantly. He became lazy. He stopped cleaning up after himself or helping around the house, yet still uses sentences to my kids such as, "You guys need to pick up after yourself. Me and your mother shouldn't have to follow you around and clean up your messes," when he never cleaned at all. I couldn't even get him to wash his own dinner plate without him having a meltdown, basically. Every day he was just angry. If one thing went wrong, like him not being able to find something he set down somewhere, which became an everyday event, he was freaking out, saying things like, "Yep, awesome, so glad life wants to screw me over," or "Why the heck does this always happen to me? Can't I just have a good damn day for once?" But he always made it a me and the kids problem. If he lost something, it didn't matter what time of day it was, he was 100% flipping out and expecting me to find it for him. I even told him my oldest son had to go to the ER because he had a bad rash, and he said, "Have your mom take him," because he was using my vehicle. Or the other day, my mood was soured due to his early morning freakout, which put me on a rough route. I was exhausted, running on 3 hours of sleep, and he rushed me out of the house to go do his errands with him. I didn't even get out of the car, so it was pointless, and then got angry and screamed, "What the heck is your problem? Can't we just have a good day for once?" As if I'm the reason that his life sucks, and this is not the man I married. So last night, around 11:30 p.m, he started freaking out again. He lost an important item he needed for work. He started slamming things around in our bedroom, repeatedly saying things like, "Damn great, damn awesome, damn love it," until I got up and started helping him look. As soon as I get up out of bed, he stops looking and just walks behind me, holding his phone flashlight. We can't find it. He doesn't go to work as a result, another trait he's gotten since giving birth. He calls out over the wind blowing wrong. I lay back down. He practically body slams the bed beside me. He starts huffing and puffing, heavy sighing, growling while practically clawing at his face and talking about how stupid this life is. I asked him to stop and he said, "Screw you." So I tell him I'm done. I'm leaving and that me and my children's crap will be out of the home by today. He says, whatever, and goes to sleep. I wake up at 5 a.m. and start packing. He comes out around 7 asking what I'm doing, and I tell him that I'm done and I'm leaving. He says I'm leaving him in his time of need, and he would never do that to me. But he kind of did, because I was diagnosed with PPD not even 4 days after giving birth, and he completely overrode it and made it about him and how much his life sucks. X. I know you're feeling some type of way, but I have crap going on too. No one asks me how the heck I am, or literally making passive-aggressive comments like, wish I could sleep all day when I was 6 days postpartum after I fell asleep on the couch. He does no nighttime duty. As I said, he says I'm leaving him in his time of need and that I should have urged him to get therapy instead of walking away, but his anger has made me hate him. I don't even want to be near him. I've tried talking to him about this. It's an immediate blame shift the second I bring up anything bothering me. He says I'm attacking him. Am I the idiot for telling my husband I'm leaving him? Not the idiot. There's no good time to tell someone it's over, so you might as well get it over with. He's way too old to be acting that way. It's so fascinating to me that some men go insane after their first kid is born. I'm very sorry that this happened to you. Hopefully he will eventually get help or chill out and become a decent human. His time of need when you just had a baby? Nope, honey, you should have left long ago. You're letting this loser show your boys this type of behavior is okay. He is abusive, pure and simple, and it will get worse and worse as time goes on. Leave and don't go back. I wish we could hear from the teenager in this house to get a sense if stepdad was perfect before. But really, it's no matter. The guy is a nightmare now and a danger to the kids, so you need to leave. Everything else is secondary to the safety and security of the kids in this home, who didn't ask for any of this and deserve not to live in this environment. You're best free of him. I recently went on a date with a guy that ended oddly, so I need some outside eyes on the whole thing. I, 27 female, went on a date with a friend of a friend, Jake, 31 male. I had suggested coffee, but when he mentioned the restaurant he wanted to go to, I agreed. It's a nice place and I've been thinking of going there. I figured worst case scenario, I would get a chance to check out the food. We had a nice time. I ordered drinks, appetizers, my main and dessert. He only had water and his main. He tried some of my appetizers but said they weren't his thing. When the bill came, I told the waitress that we had separate checks as this was our first date, and I always pay for myself on a first date. I emphasize it first because I thought it went well. He seemed like a genuine and pleasant guy. I was looking forward to seeing him again. I heard from my friend who set it up that Jake thought I was kind of an idiot for not telling him I was paying for my own meal. He only had water and a main because he thought he'd be paying a lot of money for my food and drinks. He was upset because he would have liked to order more, but our bill was over $200. With tip, I paid $145. I can understand why he'd be upset, but I don't think that's on me. I always pay for myself on the first date, like I said, unless it's coffee. Men get angry sometimes if I don't let them buy me a coffee. I cannot be the only woman who pays for themselves, can I? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Is it better to specify in advance who is paying? Sure. Would it have been awkward to bring that up before a first date? Sure. So it's completely normal at the end of a first date to suddenly realize you had different expectations about who would pay. There is nothing wrong with your assumption that you'd split the cost. For him to think you were kind of an idiot for splitting the cost is absurd. This strongly suggests that there should not be a second date, given the respect he's shown toward you. He's not mad that you paid for yourself, he's mad that you didn't tell him ahead of time so he could have afforded to order himself more items. Bro should have chosen a restaurant within his budget. To be fair, it's really sad that men are so used to being expected to pay for a complete stranger's lavish meal that they often have to pick the cheapest options or go hungry to avoid going broke. I bet the idiot in this story is your friend. Your date might just have expressed that it was too bad he didn't know you would pay for yourself, because if he knew, he would have ordered more for himself. Notice that he didn't tell you this, he told the friend. Then your friend spreads the info to you, maybe with exaggeration, misinterpretation, or bad phrasing. If that's what happened, the guy did nothing wrong. If you like him, ask for a second date, and then if you want to, you can ask about the situation. This is a good comment. You should speak to the guy directly and ask him on a second date. Then you can mention what your friend said and, if you feel like it, apologize. Not for paying for yourself, but for the misunderstanding. But you did nothing wrong, so you don't need to apologize if you don't feel like it. I hope the food was yummy. My 42 female and my ex 47 male divorced 1 year ago. Shortly after that, his girlfriend, aka affair partner, moved into the home we previously shared. I told him to keep whatever because I went to live abroad and basically just wanted out. I wasn't even mad at him for cheating. It was a dead marriage, and his affair being exposed became the catalyst for our divorce. So we got divorced and she moved in. We hadn't talked after because there was nothing left to discuss post-divorce. Then, a week ago, I got a message from her. It was really upbeat. "Oh, I like the style of the house so much. Where did you get this fixture and these pieces of furniture?" I sat with it for a day and finally decided to message her that she could figure it out since she had it all figured out. She asked what I meant, and I told her she obviously had everything my ex could ever want, and I was the one he didn't want, so she shouldn't try to imitate me. He clearly had a taste for something different. She messaged me back saying she was trying to pay me a compliment. Then my ex texted me saying we were amicable before and he didn't understand why I was causing an issue now. He's right that we were both over our marriage, but I felt like her trying to take over where I left off aesthetically was too much. My friends and family are divided. Am I the idiot? It sounds like she's trying to make friends, which is pretty messed up to be honest. I'd go ahead and block her. And if your cheating ex doesn't have any reason to be able to contact you, like assets or children, I'd go ahead and block him too. Just because you're not mad or weren't mad that he cheated doesn't mean he didn't do something awful, and it doesn't mean he's a good person to have in your life, much like his sidekick. I think I would have answered her with absurd questions such as the lamp being from the Side Chick Boutique, the patio furniture from Home Wrecker Depot, and the rug from the Secret Affair store. So no wonder you like it. OP, she's trying to prove to herself and others that she's really a good person who just made a mistake. See, his ex and I are good friends. We share decorating ideas. She's really a good person and it was just true love. Even his ex-wife gets it. I bet it's this. She feels guilty that she was the dirty little secret he was sleeping with and now wants to play housewife. Her contacting OP for decor tips was an extremely gutsy choice and honestly, shameless. You banged this woman's husband and swooped into her home like a vulture and now you're going to give compliments and play nice? Screw right off. Edit. Thanks so much for the responses and kind words. They gave me the clarity I needed and some thoughts about the situation that hadn't occurred to me. I went ahead and blocked them both. May they live long and lucky in their tastefully decorated home. Thanks, y'all.